So what was it like, you're at an event and say you run into Larry Stogner or Miriam Thomas from TVD. Was there any like friendly competition between the two?
By all means, absolutely. Larry Stogner is one of the people that I most respect in this business. He and I are friends. I consider him a friend, and I believe he considers me one. When I announced my retirement, the first telephone call that I got as soon as I stepped off the set was Larry Stogner, the very first one. And Larry was an excellent reporter, an excellent anchor, and just he's a legend. And so no, there was never any problem being with him. I was on assignment with him a number of times, and we were always glad to see each other. And even though we were in competition, you don't consider them enemies; they're just competitors.
Mm-hmm.
You're just competing. You want to beat them, and they want to beat you. But it doesn't get. It certainly didn't get personal with Larry or with me. So we're still friends.
Right. So at the end of the day, you guys are cut from the same cloth, which is broadcast journalism, but you guys happen to work for other stations. So let's talk about '94. The day that you had your final newscast, and what was that like? Because everybody in the area felt like when you stepped down, that it was like, a part of our family is leaving. You had that impact on so many people over the years in the Raleigh-Durham area on REL.
Well, with regard to how I felt that newscast, I sort of dreaded it because it really hit me that was going to be it. And I enjoyed so much the people that I worked with. I don't miss being on television. I really don't miss that, but I do miss a lot of the people, not just the ones that I worked with on the set, but I miss all of those young people. As I got older, I got to be old enough for those young kids to be their father and even sometimes their grandfather. But I miss. The only thing I missed about going in there is I missed tangling with those young people. They aggravated me. They aggravated me sometimes, and I aggravated them sometimes. But I loved working with them.
Mm-hmm.
But on that particular day, as I approached the set, and just before the light came on, I told my colleagues, I told Pam and Tom and Bob, I said, now, not Bob, it's Greg. I said, now you guys, when I get to the end of this, I'm going to have a little time to say goodbye. And I said, you guys help me get through that. And so I was okay through nothing, hardly anything nothing ever distracted me from the news. I mean, we did the news, we did the weather, we did the sports, and then it was my time to say goodbye. And I was okay right maybe to the very last sentence. When I just spoke from the heart. I didn't have anything written down. I just spoke to the viewers and thanked them for their support all these years. And as I got right to the end of it, I sort of choked up, but I made it through. But it was emotional. It was very emotional for me.
And when you stepped down, I believe Dave Crabtree stepped in. I know for him, it was kind of like, I'm replacing Charlie Gaddy, a legend in North Carolina news in the Raleigh-Durham market. So for him, it was kind of like scary because he had big shoes to fill, so to speak.
David was great. I mean, and I tried as hard as I could to make him feel comfortable about this. I didn't want him to feel intimidated or anything like that. And I did everything I could to help him with that transition for himself. And he and I are good friends. I always love seeing him. We run into each other once in a while, and he's just done a wonderful job. And even as I said goodbye, I remember saying that I thought when things settled down over there a little bit that it would be David Crabtree who was going to take my place, and that I hope that the viewers would accept him just as they accepted me over 20 years before, and that he was going to be fine. And so David did have to go through a little bit of that process. But I never heard anyone ever say to me, people would say to me, Charlie, we miss you, but I never heard anyone say, we don't like David. Not once, because people did like David. It's just that they missed me for a while. And I told David, I said, every day that your face is in front of our viewers and mine is not, they will begin to gravitate toward you. And, that's the way it is. I said, it'll take a little while. But I said, every single day, they will get closer and closer and closer to you, which is what has happened. I mean, the ratings at Channel 5 are really are excellent. And they have a good team over there. Pam's still there. Greg's still there. Tom's still there.
And the time goes by. And I believe a couple of years ago, to commemorate WRAL's, I believe, 50th anniversary, they did a reunion newscast. So what was it like when you got the call saying that we're going to commemorate our anniversary and we were thinking about doing a reunion newscast, and would you like to be a part of it?
Well, Jim Goodman, it was Jim Goodman's idea to have the reunion telecast, a newscast. And my only concern is I said, look, I want us to do a real newscast and not just a 30-minute promotion. And so I was assured that, yes, we would do a regular newscast, which we did. And right near the end, we, got together and celebrated a little bit. But it was so much fun. Bobby Batista, as you know, came up from Atlanta, and she just looked fantastic, and she's just as professional as ever. Bob DeBartoleben, I believe, had the biggest challenge because all of the controls, see, the weathermen, as you know, control all of those visuals that are going on behind them, and all of that had changed since Bob left. And so after even a run-through, or maybe at the most 2 run-throughs, he went on the air and did that perfectly. They do it with a little Palm Pilot that they hold in their hands, as you know. But all of that technology had changed, and he did just a home run job on that. And the very next day, they put us as honorary marshals in the Raleigh Christmas parade. And so we got to ride together once again through the Christmas parade in Raleigh. But to answer your question, it was all great fun, and it was good to be with them again.
Mm-hmm. So kids, that should let you know that back in the day when the weather guys used to do weather, they used to have a little magnet, be like, okay, it's going to be cloudy over by St. Louis and it's sunny down in North Carolina. Right now, we're going to go to your 5-day forecast. Little grainy camera shot, and it looks very primitive and archaic.
I know, but boy, it's complicated now, but it is fantastic scientifically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of this stuff that they have, I mean, they can go right down your street. They can go right to your house with all of that Doppler and all that stuff. They can really plot out everything.